Hello everybody, my name is Mike Butcher. I'm the founder of the Europas Awards, the European Tech Startup Awards, and editor-at-large at TechCrunch. And we've been going for 12 years, everybody, celebrating Europe's startups across the continent. And this year we're obviously virtual. We're coming to you live from London, but the great thing, a small benefit of the pandemic was that because we've gone virtual, we've become entirely international, and we've got hundreds of people joining from all over Europe and globally. And so it's fantastic to see you all, and I hope that you'll enjoy our content and the awards today. We had thousands of entries from around Europe for the awards this year, and later on tonight I'll be announcing a fantastic new initiative that will cement our European credentials even further. So before we kick off, we've got a poll to find out where everyone is from. So let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Pop in your country and your city, where you're from, and we'll say hi in just a short moment. We'd love to hear from you. So just pop in the comments in the chat in the Zoom, and I'll see where everyone's from. Now, to give you a quick overview of the running order for this afternoon, we've got 23 categories of awards, and they'll be split into 2 sessions, punctuated by 2 live panels that we'll be playing out, one with Europe's top tech journalists and an amazing VC panel. And at the end, we'll have a special announcement, so hang around for that. So grab your drinks, nibbles, it's Friday afternoon, settle in for a fantastic afternoon of celebrating European startups. Now, let's see where everyone is from. You want to say hi? Let's get a bit of a wave going, and we'll see who you are. So, hello everybody! Yes! Thanks very much for joining the Europas. Here I am this is my front living room. I hope you like the decor. I just had the place redecorated recently. And looks like we've got a whole bunch of people. And I'll just look over here to see. Yes, we've got Marlow, Italy. We've got Milan, Stockholm, Germany, New York, Rostock, Beckenham in the UK, Berlin, Bremen, London, of course. Fantastic, everybody. Thanks so much for joining. We've got a fantastic attendeeship right now. So before we kick off, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our marvellous sponsors for all their support this year. These include our headline sponsor, Builder AI, which is empowering to bring your idea to life via on-demand, tailor-made software, no coding required. Scale-up category sponsor is Scaleway. From high-performance cloud ecosystem to hyperscale green data centers, Scaleway provides the foundation for digital success. Health tech category sponsor is Babylon Health, and you can see a doctor online in minutes using your mobile from home, work, or holiday even. Transportation and mobility sponsor this year is Free Now, which is Europe's #1 taxi app operating in 100 plus European cities. Diversity ticket sponsor is Playfair Capital. Thanks very much for Playfair. They're the early stage fund that commits to companies early and with conviction, helping ambitious entrepreneurs since 2013. And finally, our ticketing events award, let's do that again. Our ticketing and events platform Bizzabo is the world's most loved event software, empowering organisers to unleash the power of their events. And finally, a huge thank you to our judges this year, some of whom you'll see this evening. Thank you very much for your diligence in the judging process and contributions. Our speakers, whose panels you can visit on our website. And finally, to our brilliant applicants. And if you want any more information, just go to Europas.com and you can check out who our judges were and all of the information there. Now, before we kick off the awards, we have a special panel which we always run at the Europas. It's definitely an institution of the Europas. It's Meet the Press, where we invite some of Europe's top tech reporters and journalists to talk about what they believe were the biggest stories of the year and what they want most from startups when they're going to get pitched, as they do. And this is roughly 30 minutes. We tried to make it 20 minutes, but it was so good, we decided to keep all of it. So I hope you'll enjoy that. It's a great opportunity to see those journalists and see what they're interested in right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, over to that panel. Enjoy. Hello, I'm Mike Butcher. I'm founder of the Europas Awards. Welcome to the Europas Awards 2021 Meet the Press panel. And we've got a great panel for you. We've got Shona Ghosh from Insider. She's the senior editor for the tech section of Insider, based in London. She oversees the UK tech team's coverage, running both day-to-day news and in-depth investigations. And in 2019, she was awarded Tech Journalist of the Year at the UK Tech Awards. We've also got Michael Stothard, who has previously worked at the Financial Times. He's the editor of Sifted.eu. At the FT, his roles included Madrid Bureau Chief, Nordic and Baltic Chief, and Senior Correspondent in Paris. He's apparently a Europhile, a technophile, a science geek, and hopes to live on Mars. Robin Walters is co-founder and editor-in-chief of TechEU, with previous stints at the Next Web and TechCrunch under his belt. Deeply in love with his family, technology, travelling, and Belgian beer, Robin is also the co-founder of startup Europe Lens and Be Central, the digital campus located in Brussels Central Station. And finally, we have Alex Webb, the Bloomberg opinion columnist covering Europe's technology, media and communications industries. He previously covered Apple and other technology companies for Bloomberg News in San Francisco. Welcome to the Europas Awards. Thanks very much for joining. Perhaps if I can, let's kick off. We'll go round robin first of all, and perhaps we're going to come to you, Shona. We'll ask everybody this. What's your particular title aiming for when it covers tech and startups? Does it have a particular shtick?
Great question. So Insider, many people know it as Business Insider, but Insider is the new official name. Started out of the US, and so something we're really trying to do from my team is bring European tech and news about European tech startups to a broader audience in the US, try and explain the trends that are happening here to our US readership. Obviously, sort of Europeans know that European tech is great, but I don't always know that the message has got through to the US, although obviously we see many US investors coming over now, so clearly something is filtering through to the Americans. So in terms of our startup coverage, that's the remit, but we also cover the big tech companies, the power that they hold, and the changing regulatory sector. So some stuff about startups, but also the power of the major tech firms as well.
Brilliant. And Robin, can I ask the same question for you?
Absolutely. So I cut my teeth in the last 15 years covering tech and startups with you, Mike, in the beginning, Block Nation and TechCrunch. Then I joined the Next Web as a European editor. But 8 years ago, we saw that European startups were really getting a lot of momentum. Increased investment, increased ambition from the entrepreneurs, increased attention from policymakers. So we set up a company called Tech.eu, basically to sort of capture the momentum in new publications. So we've been doing that for the last 8 years.
Amazing. And Michael Stothard from Sifted.eu, you're relatively new, a couple of years old. What's the kind of angle that Sifted is going for?
Yeah, so as you say, we're the new kids on the block. We started, 2.5 years ago, spun out the Financial Times. And I guess unlike, say, Business Insider, which say like quite global, has like a very global readership, and also does big tech, we do like Sifted just does European startups. So we don't do big tech. You won't read what's happening to like Brussels and face in with Facebook regulation. We let other people do that. We do European startups, and that's our pitch. We try to do it really well.
Fantastic. And Alex Webb at Bloomberg, your shtick is probably different again, but obviously you do stray into the startup arena now and again. Where does Bloomberg sit?
Yeah, so obviously I'm coming at it with the opinion hat on, and for me that's, I'm always interested in the kind of why more than the what. But I came out of the news side and was a reporter at Bloomberg for, eight years before joining opinion, and I think on that side it is very much like trying to find the small stories that help tell a big story. That it's not necessarily, look, here's a startup that has a new product or has raised a new round or even necessarily has an interesting investor, but like actually, does this help you tell a bigger story about a particular innovation in the tech world or a particular, broader theme? And so to that extent, my job is even now slightly adjacent because I'm trying to take those broader themes and say whether they're good or bad fundamentally.
And I guess I suppose I ought to answer the question myself for TechCrunch, because obviously I work at TechCrunch. The main thing I'd say probably is we're very interested in the venture capital world, fundraisings, and we operate much more really like a bureau for the US. But we stray into Europe and stray into US, but we're obsessed with venture capital. I would say it's probably the best answer for us. Maybe we can go around and chat about stuff now, which is that one of the big issues, of course, we all know, is COVID and the pandemic. We've been through a year of those startup stories, dealing with the pandemic and having to pivot and learn to work remotely. And here we are doing a remote event. How do you think things are going to progress from here on as people come out of lockdown, the changes that have been wrought on the industry? Do we think that, for instance, remote working is here to stay? What's your opinion, Shona?
Yeah, I certainly think. I think we're still feeling the I wouldn't say shock impacts, but ongoing impacts. I don't think it's just going to be that we in the UK see the vaccine roll out and then we're back to where we are economically or in terms of our social habits. I think we will still feel long-term shocks from people being furloughed, perhaps somewhere in between people being fired when they should have been furloughed. I think all of that is going to create shocks that we will continue to feel over the next few years, and that's going to have impacts beyond the startup world. In terms of startups, it was interesting to me to see Revolut, who we know have quite a tough and very office-based culture historically, to say, okay, finally we're going to let people sort of work wherever they want for a few weeks of the year. We'll embrace hybrid working. At least they're saying that. We'll see whether they put these things into practice. But companies that were previously very strict about home working, and particularly startups where there's a lot invested in having people really putting their all into the culture and the company, founders have had to make that call about allowing people to do hybrid working. And that's going to have, again, I think, quite long-term and interesting impact on startup culture. So a few effects still to be seen, I think.
Yeah, Michael, did you've seen startups pivot in this pandemic? Do any long-term trends kind of suggest themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I think the two things that have really happened have been basically like quantitative easing, pushing more money into venture capital, and that money coming into Europe in just an extraordinary way. And what you can do with a company in terms of how much you can raise, I feel like that's been a big step change. When you get companies like Hopin that have gone from having no product to being a unicorn in 8 months, and now we're being worth 5 billion, another few months later. This is something that wasn't really, there's has long been a kind of something in the US, but the scale of it and the speed of it feels like a real step change for Europe, and Hopin's just one of the examples over the last year. And I think that as a trend, like that amount of capital in Europe, like I don't think that's going away. So I think that's a step change that will really be with us. And similarly, the reason a lot of these companies have been able to, reach these kind of valuations and attract this much money is because there has been this, change in consumer sentiment. And, people's, I mean, it's almost a truism and it feels trite to say, but like, the move to digital, people's willingness to do stuff online has stepped up a gear. And again, I don't think that's going away. Virtual events are probably not going away. And that's what everyone's betting on with Hopin. We see the 10-minute delivery companies, again, like this whole new, it's not exactly new, but like it feels very new, kind of like a whole class of companies that's just sprung up out of nothing. Like, and it's extraordinary to see, but it's partly a bet on people's, willing to order some more stuff on their phones, because people have been ordering more stuff on their phones during coronavirus. So these two trends of digital and capital have seen has just moved up about 8 different notches, and I really don't think either of those things are going away.
Yeah, good point. Thank you, Michael, for reminding us about the 10-minute, 15-minute delivery service. Alex, Bloomberg's obviously been covering the rise of these kinds of new kinds of grocery stores. I suppose you would think that perhaps, let me ask you a question. Do you think that this is going to be a long-term trend? Will these delivery startups start to eat into the bottom line of the big monopoly high street supermarkets?
So I have a kind of slightly similar view to Michael, but a little bit different in the sense that I think you're quite right. There's this huge surge in companies, and there's a lot of capital which maybe wasn't as readily accessible before, but all of a sudden it is gushing into these new industries. I think there's going to be something of a correction where we've seen like there are a lot of companies where it is accelerating something that probably would have happened anyway. But then there are also a kind of, there is a category of company which is taking advantage of the fact that there have been lockdowns. I'm not saying they're doing it malevolently, but has been well positioned to take advantage of lockdowns. When those lockdowns start to ease, it is no guarantee they'll continue to be successful. And striking while the iron is hot, it's clearly wise from a fundraising perspective, but I think there will be a correction, whether it takes 6 months or a year or 2 years. I don't know. That's why I'm not an investor, but I think that correction is something that we're going to keep our hand very closely on the pulse of.
Robin, in the Europe and the EU with Tech EU, you guys have seen, certainly, for instance, you've seen that these kinds of trends happen all over Europe. Turkey, Eastern Europe with new delivery services as well, and also the switch to remote working. Are you have an opinion on what kind of trends are baked in now post-COVID?
Yeah, first of all, I concur with everything that's been said before. I think, startups from all across Europe are riding this wave. I think it's been a net positive for tech as a whole, this whole pandemic, for better or worse. But I mean, the industries that have been trending a lot are the obvious ones: productivity, business software, communication, telehealth, education, entertainment. Loads of industries that have sort of benefited, I guess, from the shock impact and the aftermath, and well, we're still sort of in it. We're not done yet. But I think the ones that have been hit by the pandemic, the travel tech startups, if you're in anything related to business travel or servicing people who travel for business, for instance, that's of course is going to come back with a vengeance, I think. But they've been hurting quite a lot. But overall, I'd say 90 to 95% of the tech industry has been benefiting from this acceleration of trends that we've, as Alex pointed out, has probably been underway for many years before. It just got a huge boost, and that's also the reason that this venture capital is increasing, and the valuations and the exits are getting bigger, is because there's more attention, there's more money, there's more attention from traditional industries to go digital and to use tools and services that they haven't been using before. I don't think those trends are going to go away. I don't think they're going to slow down dramatically. There might be a correction, but then, of course, when you put venture capital in companies like grocery delivery, especially the amounts that are flowing into that correction is not going to happen in 6 months to a year, as Alex suggested, because now they have money for at least 2-3 years. They can sort of figure this out. much more likely there'll be a sort of a competition and a war between them, maybe even like a prize, race to the bottom type thing, where I think their biggest threat is sort of the competition, because now money is available abundantly for everyone, which means also for your competition. So I think that's a bigger threat than correction or slowdown from the lockdowns.
That's a useful segue into my next question, because we've seen the incursion of US money into Europe at a far greater rate than in previous years. Do we think that the final, that the long lauded and hoped for trend of Silicon Valley coming to Europe has actually started, and that Europeans are going to get that Silicon Valley kind of mindset? I guess it's been happening for a while, but do you think that the Americans are here to stay, or they're coming and putting heat on European VCs? Shona.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So I feel like I can't precisely remember when it was, but I think it was in my very early days of covering VC. We did see some of this already with Benchmark coming to Europe, Axel obviously extending to Europe, and finding that having these models where you have a US branch and a European branch didn't quite work as they anticipated, and so the European arms sort of spun off to become their own entities like Balderton and Axel Europe. So from what I understand, and it's very early days, I don't know that we're seeing exactly the same problem, but I think some of these big name US firms are coming here and finding again it's not necessarily so easy. So you've seen US partners being shuttled over the Atlantic and being based here, perhaps a slight struggle to find local talent. So I wonder if we might see some of those same issues resurging again, where it's not necessarily so easy to expand the US arm of a company over here. But it's so early, and these companies have only been here, sort of arrived here kind of over the last year or so, that I think it's hard to tell. And clearly startups really love having the name association. The European industry is a lot more developed than it was 10 years ago, when maybe this was happening the first time round, that maybe things will be different. But yeah, I think if you speak to people behind the scenes, there's still a little bit of skepticism as to whether it will work, whether people are feeling optimistic or not.
Michael, I see you're nodding your head there. Do you think the Americans are here to stay?
Yeah, I think lots of people remember, and again, I mean, you'll know this better than me, Mike, but I felt like back in the last crisis, all the Americans left, apart from Axel Europe and Benchmark with Balderton, and there was a sense that these guys were just tourists, and the slightest problem, and they'd all sort off back home. So I feel like that's where there's still a bit of a scar from that. I think that's where that skepticism comes from. But I think it's a bit like crypto, kind of, it goes up and it goes down, but ultimately, Bitcoin, it starts from a higher level next time. Each cycle, kind of the graph goes up. So I think it will be, if there is a correction, it'll correct to a infinitely stronger place than the last correction, would be my read.
Alex, do you think there's a structural change in the way capital is moving around technology companies in Europe? Do you think that was brought on by the pandemic, perhaps, or was it good timing? It's startups are cheaper in Europe, etc.
Yeah, I do think you're probably right. There's a confluence of beneficial factors. I think that you still speak to people that it's quite easy to raise seed money, Series A, but as you get further down the series, it's still quite hard. Whether that's changing in the past even 2 or 3 months, I don't know. It's maybe too early to tell. I do think maybe as well there's been a recognition different from maybe 5, 8, 10 years ago about what Europe's good at and what Europe's not good at. Previously, it was the intention like, let's build a European Google or Facebook, or, conquer the world.
Yes.
And actually,
if it's going to
we
work,
have the single
that's what you
disadvantage
do.
that we're not a market of 320 million people. Even with the European Union, you've got a bunch of different language markets and things. So actually recognising Europe's pretty good at enterprise and a lot of enterprise applications, TeamViewer, not quite a startup, but been around for a while. These sort of companies, which are, maybe on the wonkier end, they, I think, are there's increasingly a recognition from VC that that's a better place to invest in Europe than, someone trying to compete with what the big tech companies are doing. Obviously, 8-10 years ago was a different calculation with those guys because they were still quite young-ish. But yeah, I think that seems to be a bit of a difference this end, although I hope others don't disagree.
I agree, but it's not just VC. It's also private equities is becoming so much more active to fill that funding gap that's been around for so many years. But now there are opportunities for them, right? There's a load of companies and entrepreneurs that they can now back with confidence, traction, global ambitions. So they are stepping in to fill that gap very clearly, both in Europe, from Europe and the US, and public markets as well. Like we see companies going public in droves in the last few months. That's not a surprise to me because that's one way to raise capital. Much like any other, it's just another step in the journey for a lot of these companies. And you can see that already in the IPO numbers for the last 6 months, which have been significantly higher than previous years.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's been very interesting to watch a new capital flood in, but also European VCs raise more funds as well. So certainly the industry has not slowed down at all, even though the pandemic made us stick in one place. Right, well, the next section of the panel is the old trusted ideas about how startups get to you guys, how do they pitch you. People watching want to know, journalists, they want to get into titles. So let's just throw this around. What are the kinds of things you see from startups? The best way to pitch you guys, the best way to reach out. Robin, do you like DMs on Twitter, or what are the best ways to hit you up?
Yeah, how are startups pitching me? Poorly, I would say in general. Listen, there's a lot more startups and entrepreneurs out there than there are journalists covering startups. So per definition, that means that we get quite an influx of, it's quite overwhelming sometimes in the amount of people that try to capture our attention. So obviously you need to work on your storytelling. You need to sort of captivate what makes you special. Make sure you boil that down in a message that's easy for us to understand. Make sure you don't waste our time in the sense that you have all the information ready for us, and also be responsive when we ask for more information. Just try to do your homework, pitch the right journalists, pitch the right publications for your needs, and do it in a smart, non-intrusive, not too, let's say, annoying way. Follow up, of course, but just try to be human about it, I would say.
And Michael, do you have a level at which you'll start covering a company, or are you interested in anybody?
No, we don't really, but I think Alex put it really well when he said that he was looking for small stories that tell big stories. And I think that's really what we try and do. We don't cover big rounds just because they're big rounds. That'll help if you're raising 500 million. That's surprising and wow, that'll help you get the story over the line. But it really needs to tell a bigger picture, or it needs to tell a bigger and more interesting story. So if you can sell that, then that makes a big difference. Because journalists, we're pretty lazy, and as Robin says, we get a lot of pitches. So we try and think, how can that news story? How can we really tell the reader something that they really need to know, and use this as a hook to tell that story. So that's what we're thinking all the time. But if you can make that easy for us and be like, hey, I'm raising this round, and I'll tell you why it's interesting, because 5 other people have done, something similar in all these different countries. We're doing it slightly differently, but this is a big trend. This is why it's interesting. That does that work for us, and writes the story for us. And that's it's those storytelling skills. But try and think of the big picture, because this is a truism as well. But no one cares about your startup or your product as much as you do. Talk about why it resonates, and that's the way to do it, I think.
Alex, you probably don't get tons of startup pitches, but do you? How does Bloomberg approach this sort of startup world?
We do get pitches. So I'll give 2 answers here, because there's the opinion head and then there's the kind of the news head. And for me, I don't really take pitches because I'm writing a column on a theme. But the thing that's always useful for me is having relationships with people that I can talk to who can help me understand a topic, right? And that might mean that, I can then quote them in a story. I tend to think I don't want to go. I'm happy to speak to people on background, and I speak to a lot of people on background. But I also go into any conversation saying, like, look, if you want to speak on the record, I don't just want to steal your best ideas and pass them off as my own. So if you want to be quoted, let me know, and then I can, try and chuck a quote in and refer to you in a story. And when it comes to opinion, that's probably how you're going to be turning up, unless, to Michael's point, you're telling a really good, bigger picture. There was a good example in the Washington Post. Jeff Fowler did a great piece about the way fingerprinting works on iPhones, and it's actually all done through the story of a startup that runs a VPN app, right? And how that conversation came about, I don't know, but that was a way of basically placing the startup really well, but telling a bigger story. For the news side, I think, it's probably not dissimilar. I always prefer to have a phone call. I'll be quite brusque. I know people don't like phone calls. I'll be quite brusque if it's like, I'm really sorry, it's not one for me, and, say goodbye. But I then can get a sense, actually, is this interesting or not? And then I'd like to forge a relationship with someone that I can go, well, actually, you can sort of help me understand this, and maybe then I can get your name into a story every now and then. But on the news side, I think they also want to build relationships, and just saying, here's a press release for a story that everybody else is getting the same time. Bloomberg's not interested in that. They're not interested, unless you're literally Apple, they're not interested in a press release that is going to 25, 40, 100 different journalists. They want, ideally an exclusive, which everybody does, but they will also want to build a relationship with the person if they think it's going to be useful and interesting. And if that person is useful and interesting, if you're a CEO or a founder with good, subject expertise in your field, that is a useful relationship for journalists to have, because then they can understand that field a little bit better.
Right, and Shona, what would you add to some of those points?
Yeah, definitely a mix of what Alex and Michael said. Relationships are really important. Don't treat journalists just as a service. We don't like it. We're not here just to write about your funding round. We really value being able to speak to founders and entrepreneurs. Not everyone loves or is necessarily very good at that, but it's worth trying to build a relationship with a journalist you might trust, giving us a heads up about news that's coming down the line. It tends to make us a bit more interested when the news does drop versus just a cold press release landing in your inbox. Or as Alex said, even if we can't write about your company particularly and solely, maybe we're writing a bigger piece about, I don't know, anything from quantum computing to data protection, where we might quote you as an expert voice, because this is something that none of us are technically trained in. So it's worth, aiming to build relationships with journalists if you are keen and willing. So I say some founders are better and more interested in doing that than others. And the other point for us is, we are, being an American audience and a bit brash. We love stories about success. We love big numbers. We love large funding rounds, particularly if they come from big backers. It's something our readers really, really enjoy reading about. So kind of shout about your most interesting facet. If it's a big backer, the fact that, your founder maybe has an unusual background or unusual backers, tell us all of that stuff, because our readers really like it.
Well, certainly I can't add very much to that other than, TechCrunch, we like big funding rounds as well. But I would basically concur with what everybody's just said, so I'm not going to repeat it. I'm just going to do a quick round robin, and then last question. The round robin is this: PR agencies, yes or no? Yes or no, Michael?
Yeah, I think so. Because if you don't have that expertise in house, if you're not the kind of founder who has those relationships, if you're building a product and you don't want to build those relationships, and people are good at different things. Lots of founders suck at it. If you suck at it, then get a PR agency. They're mostly bad, but there are some good ones and who know what they're doing. So find those and hire them, I'd say.
Alex, PR agencies, yes or no?
Yes, if they're good, basically, yeah.
Shona?
Yes, particularly if you have something you're going to announce, because PR agencies understand things like embargoes, when to send things to journalists, things like exclusive stuff that founders most definitely do not understand. So just if you have something specific you want to talk about, as opposed to just relationship building, which you can do yourself, then yes, PR agencies are very much worth it.
Robin?
I would say as a founder, try to do your own PR for as long as you possibly can. Learn those skills of storytelling, because they will be useful for other reasons down the line. But once you get to a point where you can't manage it anymore, then please do hire a PR agency. Pay top dollar for the best ones, because it's really worth it.
Very good advice. Well, final question for this quickfire panel on media in tech. Starting with Robin, the final question is, what sort of big trends are you guys going to be looking at Tech EU over the rest of the year? Will it be SPACs, crypto, big tech in Europe, funding rounds, bigger VCs? Do you see anything particularly coming out? Certainly, for instance, I mean, the remote working obviously is continuing. So, Robin, what's your view?
Yeah, definitely not crypto and SPACs. No, what I think we'll be looking at mostly is this marriage of policy and startups, because no matter how you slice it, it's very difficult to be here in Brussels and not be affected by it, for one, but it's also quite obvious that there is no separation anymore. Thinking that whatever gets decided in Brussels is not relevant to startups, that it's only about big tech, is absolutely untrue. So you need to take into account that there is a lot of moving parts here that have a lot to do with innovation and early stage startups. So that we'll be watching. And the other thing is the other part of Europe, right? Like Eastern Europe, the smaller countries, the Balkans, the Baltics, Greece, etc. Knowing that there is so much talent there, that the capital is starting to flow there, that the attention is coming, we know that there's going to be a lot of movement in the next 5 to 10 years, and we want to be on top of that.
Cool. Alex, any big trends, SPACs, for instance?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if that does pick up in Europe, because it's been quite effective as funding round for companies maybe aren't very good in the US. So seeing if that does start to pick up here, like I think a lot of the kind of changes, there's the Lord Hill review in the UK, and how that's made the UK more attractive, if it has made it more attractive as a kind of listing hub, and just generally whether London is the best place to be found, run, list a tech company, or whether actually the centre of gravity is shifting more towards Amsterdam. I think actually London still does have a lot going for it, and antitrust regulation huge as ever, and I do get the sense that it's really starting to gain a bit of a head of steam. But I've been saying that for about 18 months. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And Michael, are you guys going after any big trends, or just sticking to your knitting?
Obsessed by 10-minute grocery companies. Just completely obsessed. They're just like night and day. I dream about them. I think about them every second.
I think the next big thing might be 5-minute deliveries. It's just one of these things.
Some are doing 7 minutes. It just blows your head. But I mean, how often do we get whole new? It's like early days of scooters. It's totally wild. We're going to get a whole multi-year story of like it going and then it consolidating and crashing and them eating each other. It's going to be just a great few years of this, and we're just at the beginning of it. And like loads of it just makes no sense. The unit economics makes no sense. What's that going to mean? What's going to happen? It's just wild. It's really fun. It affects people's daily lives. I love it. That's my thing.
I agree. I think probably we will be, because it's something we can all use, and it's very interesting to watch. And certainly, we'll on the night of the Europas, we'll be doing a dash to see which company can deliver us drinks fast enough. Shona, what about you? Do you see any big trends for the rest of the year? What about at Insider?
I love it. It's a really good stunt with the grocery delivery startups. I mean, it's sort of in the grocery delivery vein, but more broadly as well. Are these startups that got massive valuations and raised really crazy funding over the last 18 months or so? How are these companies going to fare as we recover and return more to like IRL interactions? But that doesn't just cover startups, that covers, some certain post-IPO companies who had a terrible first day of trading as well and are now throwing lots of ads for takeaway around at you on your phones. Those kinds of companies that have really talked up or talked a really good game through the pandemic, how are they going to fare post-pandemic? So that's a theme that we're definitely thinking about, but also on our kind of big US tech company, or with that hat on, some of the worker dissatisfaction that's going on there and the internal rebellions that we're seeing spill out onto social media and publicly is quite an interesting new trend that I don't really remember seeing much before. We obviously saw it a bit in 2018 with the Google walkout, but now it's sort of spreading around all the different tech companies. So that's something we're also watching very closely.
Fantastic. Well, there's not much more I can pack into a 20-minute panel, but I want to say thank you very much to everybody who's participated. Some fantastic learnings there for our listeners and watchers. Shona Ghosh, thank you so much from Insider. Michael Stothard from Sifted EU. Robin Wouters from Tech EU, Alex Webb from Bloomberg and Opinion, and from me, Mike Butcher from TechCrunch and the Europas. Thanks very much for joining the Europas Awards Media Panel 2021. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Europas Awards. My name is Mike Butcher and you were just watching the fantastic media panel there. Some great information there from our panellists. And now, so welcome back, and it's time for the awards and our first category for the Europas Awards 2021. So this is going to be announced by Yvonne Bangella, who's the investment partner with Impact X in the UK.
Hi, my name is Yvonne Bangella and I'm an investor at ImpactX, a UK-based venture capital firm focused on backing underrepresented entrepreneurs across Europe. I'm super excited to be here today announcing the incredible nominees for the hottest ag tech and food tech startups. So without further ado, the nominees are Formo Dairy, the plant-based dairy company from Berlin using enzyme-based technology to create cheese. We then have Sue's Technology. This Israeli startup is tackling the problem of unwanted male chicks in the egg production industry. And last but certainly not least, we have Karakuri, the London-based startup building food preparation systems combining robotics, automation, and machine learning. I will now hand over to Mike, who announced the winner.
Thanks, Yvonne, for announcing that the nominees for that category. And I'm joined by the nominees. They should be on our feed right now. We've got a couple of them at least. Anyway, I hope you guys are waiting with bated breath. And I'm excited to announce that the winner of the AgTech category, AgTech and Food Tech startup for 2021 for the Europas Awards is Formo. Congratulations,
Hey.
Formo. So let's cut to Formo if you're online.
Yes, I am. That's great. Cool. Thanks a lot.
Fantastic. What's your name?
My name is Roman. Hi, I'm CFO at Formo.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Roman. How's everything going?
It's going great. Things are looking good. Excited about this award.
Brilliant.
Super cool.
I'm hoping you'll be shouting about that across all your channels shortly, and we'll obviously be publishing all of the winners once the awards are done. But for now, thanks so much to Formo for joining us at the Europas Awards 2021.
Thank you so much. Super cool. Thank you so much.
Congrats. Congrats. So now let's go to the next award, and this is all live, everybody, totally live. It's 4:41 in London right now. The next category is Hottest AI Startup. And this category is sponsored by Builder AI, which is empowering you to bring your idea to life via on-demand tailor-made software with no coding required. And it's presented by Sachin Devdugal. Over to you, Sachin.
Hi, my name is Sachin Dugal, and I'm the chief wizard and co-founder of Builder.ai. One of last year's winners is the hottest AI startup of the year. That's why I'm really excited and honored to be able to announce the winners for this category this year. The nominees are Authentic, the German-Icelandic startup that provides real-time identity verification built on the principles of privacy by design. Verified identities in 60 seconds or less. Bodyguard, the French startup that incorporates AI and machine learning to protect people, platforms, communities, and businesses from toxic online content. And Edgify, the Israeli London-based startup that has built predictive personalization technology used to train entire data sets for comprehensive analysis. Frogster, the German-Israeli anti-fraud company that uses AI to eliminate fraud and increase customer profits. Iris.ai, the Norwegian startup that provides AI science assistant helping R&D departments navigate and find research text content and save time. Mobius Labs, a German startup building AI-powered intuitive computer vision SDK solutions. Papercup, the British AI service that automates video translation, create new voices in other languages for your video content at scale. Sana Labs, the Swedish startup that brings AI to adaptive learning to upskill workers. And Synthesia create professional AI videos from text in 40 plus languages. Congratulations to all the nominees. Very excited to see who's won. Over to you, Mike.
Thanks very much, Sachin. And I'm excited to be joined by some of the nominees we've got on Zoom. I hope you guys are having fun. And I'm now going to announce the winner. And the winner is Sana Labs, the Swedish startup bringing AI to adaptive learning to upskill workers. Congratulations, Sana!
Thank you so much. We're so happy, and thank you to the jury and everyone who voted for us.
Fantastic. How are you, and where are you coming from? Where are you coming to us from?
Very good. We're based in Stockholm, Sweden. So yes, here I am.
And what's new with Sana Labs?
What's new? Well, I would say we have a lot of things going on. We have so many exciting things. This year has been fantastic for us, and we're so excited for what's to come. So everything is new.
Congratulations. Well, thanks very much for joining us from Stockholm. Sana Labs, the winner of the Europas Awards 2021 for hottest AI startup in Europe. And I hope that they'll be promoting that across all their channels. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep the show going. And the next category is the hottest B2B SaaS startup. And this category is announced by Cayetana Hurtado from Balderton Capital. Over to you.
Hi, I'm Kaya Hurtado, principal from Balderton Capital, and I'm delighted to announce the nominees for the hottest B2B SaaS startup. AeroCloud Systems. AeroCloud Systems designs cutting-edge IT technologies for the aviation industry from the UK. Boom Image Studio. Boom is a phototech startup that provides on-demand photographic solutions at scale for clients in over 80 countries from Italy. Chattermill. Chattermill applies cutting-edge deep learning to help organizations make sense of the customer experience from the UK. Controllant. Controllant is a supply chain company for heavily regulated industries such as pharmaceutical and life science and food and beverages sectors from Iceland. Everstock, logistics as a service and technology platform for flexible warehousing and fulfillment services across Europe from Germany. Kilvar, advanced sourcing optimization and intelligent sourcing automation from Ireland. Storyblock, a headless and API-based CMS as a service, a CMS for editors, structured data for developers. Walnut. Walnut offers a failure-free, codeless, and 100% customizable sales demo platform from Israel. Congratulations to all the nominees. And now back to you, Mike, to tell us the winner.
Thanks so much, Hurtado from Balderton Capital, for announcing the nominees. And you can see all of the nominees on our website for the shortlist for the Europas Awards just by going to theeuropas.com. Well, and we've got some of the nominees here. Have a wave, everybody. Hope you're enjoying wherever you are. For this category, the hottest B2B SaaS startup in Europe is Controllant. Congratulations, Controllant. And I think we may have Controllant on the feed. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm great. Now, Controllant was an amazing success story this year, and it actually incredibly important for the rollout of the vaccine across the world by being able to track the cold chain around Europe. That was an amazing thing, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a very busy year for us, but we've had tremendous growth and also being able to play a part in making history.
Absolutely amazing. And I remember seeing the picture of the governor of New York holding a Controllant tag holding up the vaccine, the very first vaccines delivered to the United States. So anyway, congratulations, Controller, for winning the Europas Awards 2021 for Hottest B2B and SaaS Startup. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to keep going, ladies and gentlemen, and the next category for the Europas Awards is Hottest Blockchain Startup. And obviously, crypto is an enormous story this year. Thank you very much, Elon Musk and Dogecoin. And to announce this category and read out the nominees is Janneke Nissen from Capital T Venture Capital. Over to you.
Hi, I'm Janneke Nissen, partner at Seed Fund Capital T. I'm excited to announce the nominees for this category. First, Elrond from Romania. Elrond is a highly scalable, fast and secure blockchain platform for distributed apps, enterprise use cases, and the new internet economy. From Israel, First Digital Assets Group, the DM digital asset startup. Kinesis, global trading and digital asset utility platform from Liechtenstein. And last but not least, Young Platform, a cryptocurrency exchange designed for the next generation of investors from Italy. Congratulations to all the new nominees, and now back to you, Mike, to tell us the winner.
Thanks very much, Janneke, for announcing the nominees for Hottest Blockchain Startup. And we've got the nominees, some of them anyway, up here. How are you guys? Have a wave, say hi. Stay on mute though, because I'm just going to announce now the winner is First Digital Assets Group. This Israeli startup is building the infrastructure for sites to accept DM, which is Facebook's cryptocurrency as a payment. And we've got First Digital Assets up here. Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm John Reeder, CMO at First Digital Asset Group.
Fantastic. And how's it all going then at the company?
It's doing really well. We're very excited about what we've got coming up. So we're very proud to win this today.
Brilliant. Well, I hope that you'll be blasting that out across the airwaves, that you've won the hottest blockchain startup amongst all of our public voting and our judges. So congratulations to First Digital Assets Group, their hottest blockchain startup in Europe at the Europas Awards 2021. So moving swiftly on, the next category is, ladies and gentlemen, is Hottest Cyber Tech Startup. And to read out the nominees, we've got Frederick Court from Felix Capital. Over to you, Frederick. And so I will read out the nominees. The nominees are Binalize, an innovation-driven company focusing on enterprise digital forensics; CyberSmart, automated end-to-end cybersecurity; Simulate, a breach and attack simulation platform; Detector, which offers a SaaS-based tool for security analysis of web applications; Git Guardian is securing software development. They're from France. I'm neglecting to read out where they're from. And Sternum is a holistic, highly scalable endpoint security solution. They're from Israel. And Wire, an encrypted messaging app that offers a secure platform for its enterprise and government customers, and they're based in Switzerland. And ladies and gentlemen, the winner is... Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Git Guardian from France. Git Guardian is helping developers and security teams secure software development with automated secret detection and remediation for private or public source code. And we've got somebody here from Git Guardian. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm Carol Binkvist, CMO of Git Guardian here from Paris, and we're really happy to be a winner for this Europas Award.
Fantastic. So, what's the latest news from Git Guardian?
A lot of product news, a lot of growth. We're looking to raise our Series B now. So yeah, a lot happening here.
Brilliant. Well, I really appreciate you joining for the awards. Congratulations. I hope you'll be shouting about that across all your channels. Thanks very much for joining us, Git Guardian from France. Now, next category, ladies and gentlemen, is Hottest Deep Tech Startup. Now, we know that deep tech has become a hugely significant and influential in the technology industry and crosses over into things like artificial intelligence, hardware, you name it. And to announce this category, we've got Kerry Baldwin from IQ Capital. And over to you, Kerry, to read out the nominees.
Hi, I'm Kerry Baldwin, Managing Partner at IQ Capital. I'm delighted to announce the nominees for the hottest deep tech. Crate.io develops CrateDB, purpose-built to scale applications in a machine data world. Crate.io is based in Germany. Crypto Quantique offers hardware based on cybersecurity solutions for authentication and encryption in a wired local network. They are based in the UK. Dynamo is the world's leading platform for the automated generation of high-fidelity user-based digital human avatars. Dynamo is based in Portugal. Spread Assets are engineers in creating and maintaining complex products by understanding 3D data. Spread Assets is based in Germany. Sunlight.io makes applications from edge to cloud simple. They are based in the UK. And VividQ, a software company that develops a display revolution with computer-generated holography. VividQ is based in the UK. Congratulations to all the nominees. And now back to you, Mike, to tell us the winner.
And thank you very much, Kerry Baldwin from IQ Capital, for reading out the nominees. And we've got some nominees. Do a wave. Thanks so much. I'm glad thanks very much for joining, guys. And I'm excited to announce that the hottest deep tech startup in Europe at the Europas Awards 2021, as judged by all of our judges and the public, is Sunlight.io from Germany. And I think we've got them on the line. How are you?
Hi, no, I'm very good, thanks. We're actually from Cambridge in the UK.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We're going to have to fire our researcher. Thank you so much for joining us. How's it going at Sunlight?
Really great, thanks. It's a super busy time for us. We're focusing a lot on the edge, and it's an area we're seeing tremendous growth, which is keeping us super busy. So we're growing fast, and we're loving it.
Brilliant. I really appreciate you joining us, and I hope that you'll be able to press release.
You said about the team. What are the next hires?
Press release.
What are you thinking of?
I think we got interrupted slightly. I hope you'll be able to press release the fact you won the Europas. That's pretty good, stiff competition there from the nominees. So thanks very much for joining us, Sunlight, coming from the UK. And next category is, ladies and gentlemen, is hottest e-commerce startup. And the person to read out the nominees, we've got the fantastic Matthias Lungman from Moonfire Venture Capital, recently launched in the UK. Over to you, Matthias. I'm so sorry. I'm apparently we couldn't get Matthias on in time. I've just been waving. People are frantically waving at me backstage. So let me just read out the nominees. Those are eDesk, the connected e-commerce platform that empowers online sellers of all sizes. Instabox, a delivery service available to select online partners. They're from Sweden. eDesk is from Ireland, by the way. Mercow brings the benefits of digital into retail stores to drive sales uplift. They're from the UK. MishiPay is an app allowing you to never stand in line to pay at a store again. They're from the UK. Very useful. Nearstreet, a retail technology company building the world's source of real-time local inventory. They're from the UK as well. And Suaven, a shopper monetization platform, helps brands drive their sales online and offline via all their digital media mix levers, and they're from France. And I'm excited to announce that the winner is MishiPay. Congratulations, MishiPay. And we are going to cut to the winner. How are you?
Thank you. Lovely to win this award. Hi, I'm Mustafa. I'm the founder and CEO of MishiPay. You also have my VP of Comms and Customer Success in the screen, David. David, say hi as well.
Fantastic.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Thanks very much. I hope you guys are doing well. What's new at MishiPay?
We're doing great. Thank you so much. And it's lovely to win this award, especially with such amazing peers. I know all the companies there, they're doing amazing work, and we're also very excited with what we've been able to do, especially in the last 12 months, growing our stores by 3 times and working with brands like Muji, who we launched with in London, and Flying Tiger Copenhagen, who we launched with all over the Nordics in Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. So very excited with the new launches and the stores coming up, and we hope to keep launching more stores in London.
Fantastic.
To help people shop.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate you joining us. Obviously, the pandemic has meant that we've all become so much more digital. And so congratulations there to MishiPay, the winner of the hottest e-commerce startup in Europe for the Europas 2021. Now then, next category, ladies and gentlemen, in the Europas Awards is the hottest EdTech category. And obviously, online education was so crucial during the pandemic in the last 15, 16 months. And so to announce this category, we have Sean Seaton-Rogers, who's general partner with ProFounders. Over to you, Sean.
Hi, everybody. This is Sean Seaton-Rogers with ProFounders Capital. Excited to be here today to announce the nominees for the category of Hottest EdTech Company. So to kick it off, we have future DJs outside of the UK, which are remixing music education for the world. We have Quato Studios, also from the UK, which is an educational games developer that inspires and engages learners by capturing the excitement of learning through games. We have Lingoda from Germany, which offers online live language classes in English, German, Spanish, and French with qualified native speaking teachers. And finally, we have Preply from the Ukraine, which is a language learning platform that allows for personalized learning data driven by data. So congratulations again to all the nominees. And now back to you, Mike, to announce the winner. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Sean Seaton-Rogers from ProFounders. And we've got some of the nominees. Have a wave. Nice to see you. Thanks very much, guys. And thanks for joining. And I'm excited to announce that the winner of the hottest EdTech startup in Europe category is Lingoda. And I think we might be able to cut to Lingoda now. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm very good. Thank you.
Where are you calling us from?
Today. I'm calling you from Berlin in Germany.
Fantastic. And so tell us what's the latest with Lingoda right now?
We just completed our fundraising round, and with all of language education going online, we have so much to do, an inspirational product roadmap, and we are very, very busy.
Absolutely. Well, online education was so important during the pandemic. I presume you got an enormous amount of incoming and traffic and inbound inquiries during the pandemic. Is that right?
Yes, everything has switched to online. All of our competitors in the offline world, they had to close their doors, and their students came to us and to other online education companies. So we could not complain about the last 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, well, it was absolutely crucial that people and students could still learn online even during the pandemic. So thanks very much for joining us, Lingoda from Germany. Congratulations for winning the award there. Hottest EdTech in Europe. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the next category, and we are whipping through the categories today. Hottest FinTech Startup. And we are the nominees in this category are Accountancy Cloud, an account providing the best full finance stack for startups. Anyfin, putting a stop to overpriced financial products. Copper Technologies, an institutional gateway to digital asset investing from the UK. EverUp is the first UK prize-linked money app aspiring to change the way people engage with their personal finance life. Funding Options, a business-to-business services marketplace operating in the UK and the Netherlands. Quanto, making business banking easy, efficient and transparent, leveraging technology, elegant design and world-class customer support from France. Token, an open banking payments platform driving the shift from traditional payment methods to bank payments in the UK. And Upside Saving, intelligent cashback as an API fueled by open banking. And we've got some of the nominees. Do a wave, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to announce the winner for Hottest FinTech is Token. And I think we might be able to cut to Token. Hello, congratulations on winning. Where are you calling from?
Thank you very much. I'm calling from London and thrilled to get this award. Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations. Tell us some of your latest news at Token.
Well, we exist to basically make account-to-account payments a reality and to really drive the shift from the use of credit cards and wallets to the use of bank transfers. Recently closed our Series B about 6 months ago and just scaling like crazy.
Amazing. How big was that Series B?
It was a 15 million Series B.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you joining the Europas Awards this year, and presumably you'll be press releasing the fact that you've won, and we'll certainly be posting all of the winners on our website. So thanks so much to Token for joining us at the Europas Awards. Next category, ladies and gentlemen, is the hottest health tech startup in Europe, and this is sponsored by Babylon Health, the video telemedicine app, and I believe we've got Ali Parsa to read out the nominees for this category.
Hi, my name is Ali Parsa, and I am the founder and the CEO of Babylon. In Babylon, our mission is to make healthcare accessible, affordable, and put it in the hands of every human being on Earth. But we know we can't do that on our own and need a very strong ecosystem. Therefore, I'm delighted to announce the nominees for the hottest health tech awards. And the nominees are Antiverse, based in Wales, Antiverse in engineering the future of drug discovery. Breakthrough Health, based in Germany. Breakthrough Health is building privacy-focused applications that support people living with chronic diseases. My Tomorrows, based in Netherlands. My Tomorrows is a global platform that connects patients with unmet medical needs to treatments in development around the world. Tonic App, based in Portugal. Tonic App is the professional mobile app of all medical doctors. Vine Health, based in UK. Vine Health is an AI-driven platform providing support to improve the quality of survival of cancer patients. Voxy Kids, based in Romania. Voxy Kids is a SaaS platform and mobile app to the e-health market to enhance child's language recovery. Congratulations to all the nominees, and now back to Mike to tell us the winner.
Thanks so much, Ali, for reading out the nominees. And we've got some of the nominees. Do you want to give us a wave? Thanks so much for joining, everybody. And I'm excited to announce that the hottest health tech startup in Europe is Vine Health, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, Vine Health. And I think we've got Vine Health on the line. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Brilliant. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from London, from Brixton.
Great. So Vine Health is an AI-driven platform providing support to improve the quality of life and survival of cancer patients. So an incredibly important and very significant startup there. Tell us some of your latest news.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're really excited. Obviously, with COVID, we've seen a huge explosion in decentralized trials, in remote care, in digital patient support. And so we're just thrilled that that has been really prioritized over the last few months, and to be delivering care that means anyone, anywhere can get better cancer care.
Yeah, and it's been an incredibly transformative year. How do you see things playing out now with the increasing digitization of telemedicine? Tell us some of your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think we've seen a real behavioural change from clinicians in their readiness and willing to accept that kind of technology into their daily work, as well as a huge uptick in how engaged patients are engaging with these tools. So I think it's a hugely exciting time.
Fantastic. Well, really appreciate you joining us briefly for the Europas Awards, and congratulations on winning again.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Vine Health there, who have won the hottest health tech startup in Europe with the Europas Awards, sponsored by Babylon Health. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our next panel in our live stream. This is a fantastic panel discussion with two incredibly significant venture capitalists. Aydin Senkut from Felicis Ventures, who is a US-based VC who has been investing in European startups for many years, and also Eileen Burbidge from Passion Capital, an early-stage VC fund that's been operating out of London and investing across Europe for several years, many years, and these two VCs are really knocking it out of the park. Fantastic discussion. So really stay online, watch this session, and then after that, we'll be back to announce the rest of the awards. Stay tuned. Let's hear from them. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Europas Awards, and we've been doing a series of panels and interviews about European tech startups and what's been going on over the last year. My name is Mike Butcher. I'm the founder of the Europas Awards and a journalist at TechCrunch. By all independent analysis, Europe's tech ecosystem is taking off like never before. Those of us who've been here for a while know it was pretty good, but it seems to be being noticed by people abroad, especially in the US. But as US VCs decamp to Miami to evade the Bay Area's COVID lockdowns, high taxes and house prices, perhaps they should be decamping to London, Stockholm or Bucharest. So we've got two fantastic investors to talk to about this subject. Firstly, Adin Senkut is the founder and managing direct partner of Philisis Ventures, an original super angel turned multi-stage investor. He's been named on the Forbes Midas list for the past 7 years, as well as the New York Times top 20 venture capitalist list for the past 4 years. His recent focus areas include consumerization of enterprise, security, AI, mental health, and longevity. And he's well known as an early backer of a number of iconic companies, including Shopify, Fitbit, Rovio, Adyen, Credit Karma, SoundHound, and Vicarious. Prior to starting Philisis Ventures, Adyen was a senior manager at Google, joining Google in 1999 as its first product manager to launch Google's first international sites. So he definitely knows his international business. Secondly, we've got Eileen Burbidge, a partner at Passion Capital, the preeminent early-stage venture capital fund based in London. Eileen has backed Monzo Bank, Digital Shadows, Focal Point Positioning, Prowler.io, ButtonUp's Box, and many others. Burbidge started her career in Silicon Valley, working for some of the world's most prestigious tech companies, including Apple, Yahoo, and Sun Microsystems. And in 2004, she moved to London to become one of Skype's earliest employees. Sometimes called the Queen of British VC, Eileen is one of the UK's biggest tech personalities and one of London's most influential venture capitalists. Welcome to you both. Thanks very much for joining Europas Awards. Fantastic. Well, this is going to be a sort of a kind of a general opening score question, but we know that Europe's unicorns have been attracting the attention of US VCs for the last couple of years and longer. But I'd like to ask both of you. Let's start with you, Eileen. Do you think the pandemic and the switch to remote working and VC deals done over Zoom helped European startups raise internationally, or do you think the trend was going to happen anyway?
I think it's both. How do you like that? A panelist who sits on the fence. But I think it's actually both. I think the trend was happening anyway. And as you sort of clarified or sort of corrected, American investors, the ones that have been always looking further afield for really great value, innovation, and differentiation, have always looked at Europe, and especially the UK and London. And I think this was happening more and more. And we're also seeing a big influx of Asian investors, frankly, coming into London and the UK over, I would say, the last 5 years or so. And so you've seen, the UK attract all sorts of international investors for the last several years. And then with the pandemic and everyone moving to remote working, remote pitches, distributed decision-making, and collaborating across borders, frankly, yes, it accelerated that same trend that was already taking place.
Eileen, would you confirm that view, or did you think that the Americans were coming anyway?
Well, I think it's an interesting perspective, Mike, because when we invested in Adyen, I think it was 2013. So it's been 8 years. So maybe because I'm one of the Americans that actually lived and worked in Europe in many countries, I feel very much at home there. And I think that's why we've been kind of bullish on Europe for maybe close to a decade, rather. I will say, though, that our earlier investments, Adyen and Rovio, I mean, I've been in Helsinki in the middle of winter when there was 4 hours of sunlight. Many times in Amsterdam, which I actually truly miss. It was really, really fun to spend time with the Adyen team. I will tell you that the COVID era made it a little bit easier. For instance, we made a great investment in UK, Supplant. Those founders were in YC, so we got a chance to meet them in person here. But I still have not been to their office in the UK, and yet I really believe in what they're doing. And then we made some more investments recently. I think we kind of started picking up the pace in 2021. And I do have to say, being able to do things over Zoom was really helpful. And we're used to being in different time zones. I always tell the founders that I'm a 24/7 concierge. I'm in the founder happiness business, high NPS for founders. So if anything, we all realize that as long as you're getting the main things done, obviously it's not as best as in person, but it was a great conduit and great facilitator of moving forward.
So it's obviously clearly a trend that is happening. But Eileen, from your perspective, as a London-based VC, definitely an early player in the European tech scene, also with a US background, did you feel, or have you started to feel that heat on the back of your neck of US VC, or have you heard any concerns about perhaps valuations, US money inflating European valuations, or do you think it's been overall a good trend?
Yeah, I know it would make for a spicier conversation if I said that, there were these bad things happening, or there is these things that we have to worry about, or I was feeling that sort of heat on the back of my neck. But honestly, I don't look at it that way. And I don't think, my fellow partners at Passion would view it that way, or much of the London ecosystem or that of the UK. What the increased, attention or the additional sources of capital for UK-based businesses and European businesses is a good thing. It's good for the ecosystem. It reflects really well on, it's a testament to how much is happening here. And ultimately, it'll drive, I think, as most market forces, most, maybe not all, but most, better outcomes. So it's all a good thing. And Aiden was right to point out, obviously, his early investments, and you kindly mentioned in the introduction that I moved to London to work for Skype. Let's not forget that in addition to Index Ventures, the early investors there in Skype were Bessemer and DFJ. And so there's always been, international venture capital available. Maybe, a couple of decades ago, that was because there was a gap, a much larger gap with homegrown or local capital here in the UK. Now you've clearly got, many more options, and that's really good. But I do think the competition is a good thing in terms of financing. You're seeing founder-friendlier terms. You're seeing, greater value add, or at least the opportunity to demonstrate that. And you're just seeing founders just getting to choose. They don't just have to choose the money. They can choose the type of money, the strategic interest, and the alignment that they think is going to benefit them the most.
Yeah, can I push back slightly on that and just give you one supplementary question on that, Eileen, about the types of money? You mentioned the types of money. For instance, Tiger Global is considered sometimes almost closer to a hedge fund than a venture capital firm. Do you think that the hedge fund and the private equity style investing of the US coming to Europe is, do you think it's a good thing, or might have some problems somewhere?
Yeah, again, I probably don't see that as a trend. I think you're absolutely right. Of course, there are some very aggressive, investors with really deep pockets that can move really quickly, take really big positions. But, you mentioned Tiger as one example now. They're a great force. They've got a fantastic track record. And maybe a couple of years ago, we would have been talking about SoftBank, and maybe, I don't know, a decade or two ago, we'd have been talking about Tencent or something. My point being, there's always, a spectrum of different types of investors, and you're always going to have on the one extreme those that have really deep pockets, are keen to own a market or a sector and really move quickly and to dominate that position, and maybe even consolidate within that sector. There are others that are going to be super early stage, maybe take their time a bit, put in really patient capital, look for the sort of 10, 15-year type of IP development. And so we've always had that spectrum. And yes, it's a different cast of characters now, different names. But again, I think it's better for the ecosystem overall. And you'll always see natural selection at work, which is, the better investors will be around for the next wave, and the better companies and the better founders and entrepreneurs will be the ones who benefit.
And Aiden, on your side of the pond, as it were, are you excited about the fact that some of your fellow US investors have uncovered Europe as much as you have in the last 2 years? Or are you rubbing shoulders with, are you doing, is there competition for deals now that you might have been alone on?
Well, I kind of give them a hard time sometimes. I'm glad that they woke up. It's funny. I mean, when I started and I was talking about global investing, I remember VCs, including Mark Andreessen, mentioning that Silicon Valley is where it's at and they don't really need to go far beyond it. A lot has changed. I also talked about health. Now Andreessen has a health and bio fund. They also invest internationally. I'm glad more US VCs follow the example. I mean, we have to remember that I don't think this is as local of a business as people think. It's literally one global rush, a global hunt for the best companies. And I think when you change the discussion and say, okay, if it's the hunt for companies that can be truly global leaders and not just the European companies that are taking an American idea and coming up with the European version of it, companies are, VCs are realizing everywhere that you got to be wherever the best company is. And Europe has amazing IP, amazing talent. I agree with Eileen. I think intense competition is good for companies to have many more options, and capital is a commodity. So they're going to go look for the best investors. And we were just talking about the facilitation of Zoom. So it's not really that difficult to talk to a lot of investors very quickly and make up your mind. And you can also find out pretty quickly who's really going to hustle for you and make a difference. But I do have to compliment Europe. I just think sometimes, some of the great companies are underappreciated and underestimated. This happened with Adyen and Rovio, but recently with Supplant in the UK. I mean, if they succeed in what they're doing, they're going to have a sugar substitute that's none of the side effects or the bad things, half the calories, half the glycemic index. It can change the obesity epidemic in the world. And when we were so passionate about this, and when the company came around, we're like, oh my God, we have not seen any other company doing this. And we were so excited. And same thing is happening in other areas of Europe, especially in areas like Berlin with enterprise software, security, open code or fair code. So I do expect European companies to flex their muscles a little bit more. And competition is really fun. I do think that because of our diverse team and our background, we're more at home in Europe. And I think European founders are a little bit more sensitive to people that understand them, VCs they can trust, and VCs that get it and are really founder friendly.
Absolutely. And you mentioned there, you mentioned Supplant there, which is a very interesting company doing sugar replacement, and obviously a deep tech company from Cambridge. But obviously in the last sort of, Eileen and I both know that in the last 10, 15 years, the story was very London heavy, but the London, Cambridge, Oxford heavy. But obviously, as the story's gone on, it's been about Central Europe, Eastern Europe, Stockholm, Lisbon, Paris, Barcelona, these rising hubs. Eileen, do you think the story of European cities outside of London has also taken off in their own right, as Barcelona for games, or France for hardware, for instance? Do you think that's happened as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And, Aiden's already talked about the Adyen story, and that's, demonstrated the strength of Amsterdam and how long there's been a hub and there's been a concentration of talent there. Similarly, because of my experience at Skype, I've always had an affinity towards the Baltics, and I think it's fantastic talent up in the Baltics, and you've seen that, of course, now since. And yes, as you say, all the cities you named, Lisbon, Eastern Europe, the Ukraine, it's as Aiden said, there's really no border as such, or restriction in terms of where talent's going to be and where the best companies are going to come from anymore. And so it behooves the investors to make sure that we're looking at all of them.
Yeah, that's a really great point, Eileen. I just would like to concur and add on the topic of transcending borders and breaking the rules. We have a great company actually in Spain that is working on IVF related technology that allows to make to make it easier to have kids. We have a company in the middle of nowhere in Germany that has the world's best drone tech that is used by the best armies and governments and all of that. And again, that's something very German specific. They have these very specialized industries and in the middle of nowhere with specialized schools. We just talked about Supplant in Cambridge, obviously, huge credits there. And in addition to what Eileen said about Amsterdam and Adyen, and by the way, we have another company with Dutch founders that is Colorado and Amsterdam. So we're seeing that a lot right now, like bi-coastal companies. They have a little bit of a foot in Europe, a little bit of a foot in the US, but also Helsinki and Finland. I mean, you have to give those guys credit, not just with Rovio, but Supercell, which we were not investors, but they literally I think, invented mobile apps. I mean, Rovio was the first truly international, truly multi-platform mobile app ever. So I think it's just a really great example to show where Europe can really lead and can make a difference. And we're looking for those companies, and there are those gems, even maybe in places like Bucharest and others also.
Yeah, well, you're right, absolutely, and it's been fascinating to see that take off over the last few years with all these new great companies emerging from these European hubs. But when you discuss Europe, you're never too far away from the word B for Brexit, and I'd be interested to know by both of you whether or not that's going to inform startup founder strategies or investor strategies over the next few years. Will it be the case that UK startups start looking to the US more than they used to in Europe? I know Monzo, for instance, has slightly changed tack and focused more on the US in the last year or so. Other companies, UK companies, thinking, well, maybe it's harder to scale in the EU, so maybe we should shift gears to Europe, to the US earlier than they might otherwise have done. I'd be interested in your perspective, both of you, on that Brexit that Brexit effect, as it were.
Yeah, so I think I should just have to clarify probably for Monzo, US was always part of their plan, even before Brexit or even before they, assumed that was going to be a reality. In that, the original founding team thought the US market was far more interesting for them, and because of the cultural alignment with what was working with customers organically here in the UK, rather than Europe. Having said that, to your question, I do think there's going to be a Brexit impact, but it might be a bit early to say, or too early to tell. I think everything has been taking longer than any of us would have liked here in the UK for, us to sort of see the ramifications of Brexit. And I think the same is going to hold true for this ecosystem. I think what will be most, impactful, or the biggest variable, is going to be that of where talent is. I think if it's going to be harder for founders to, hire here in the UK or to recruit people to move to the UK, then also over time, those founders are going to, decide to have their sort of HQ somewhere else. Having said that, at the same time, COVID probably neutralized that a bit because we did have this whole trend towards remote working. And now, I don't know if there's a difference about whether or not a developer is, in the same office as a founder or not. And so, again, I think it's going to take a while and we're going to have to wait and see. But I don't think there are many businesses that I know of that are rethinking their international expansion plans, which I think is what you were getting to, Mike, because of Brexit. Not yet, anyway.
Right. Aydin, quickly, can I have a quick answer from you about why you think, whether or not you think Brexit will have any effect at all?
I don't think it really had an effect on us, to be honest with you, but I do remember right when Adyen was going public, the people that were most vocal about it were the European VCs that were based in London, and they just did not, they were not very happy about the complexity and having to deal with that and potentially relocating. But the last thing that I want to add is, look, for me, and I think Eileen concurred on this point too, we're looking for companies that are transcending borders. It's not just about Brexit or even all of Europe. We want to find the founders that literally want to have a product for the whole world and have a global, way of thinking. And I think where the US VCs can really help for some of those companies, US is a very important market or one of the biggest, or they might need something really important or strategic or different way of thinking. So we always love to collaborate with our European friends, especially Eileen and Passion Capital and others like Index. We have huge respect for them and work with them very closely. But we also, I think, can bring that kind of European closeness to the founders and, an appreciation for who they are without necessarily being based in Europe, but also bring them great benefits, like in some cases, like getting them a key advisor from a company that is US based or from a very important strategic partner or business development and sales. And for founders, I think it really comes down to hey, can you really help me? Can you hustle for me? Can you have an impact? And can I trust you? And so what we are finding is that obviously it would have been best if we're very close to them and where they are, but being a couple time zones away, maybe 10, has not been as much of a factor as we have seen. So we want European founders to continue innovating, and we'll be there to hopefully partner with them along with Eileen and the rest of our friends.
Well, Aydin, you make a very good point there, and I think I've spoken to lots of startup founders myself and found that the switch to remote working has worked. Obviously, there have been some problems in terms of perhaps a bit of burnout sometimes as well, and the remote thing definitely sort of starting to be almost baked in actually long term. But I'd like this sort of combination of remote working, remote deal making amongst investors now with founders internationally across Europe and between the US and Europe. Like Eileen, first of all, and to wrap up, let's talk about the long-term trends. Where do you see these baked-in behaviours now? Are you excited to get back to real-world meetings eventually, or do you think there's going to be more of a hybrid approach amongst investors? And how do you see that playing out with the incursion, or shall we say collaboration perhaps with US investors coming to Europe as well?
Yeah, no, so I wish I always had a crystal ball, Mike. You always ask me these hard questions. I don't know what to predict. I think what's going to happen is the hybrid. Again, that's me sitting on the fence, but it's also going to be founder-led, founder-driven, right? Aydin and I think he had a great sort of saying where he's the concierge and he's there for founder happiness. Those are our clients, really. And if founders want to start meeting in person, if they're going to start wanting to sort of say, listen, I want to get a feel for what the vibe is going to be like. I want to know what a brainstorm session is if we're in the same room together. And they're going to be sort of comparing investors that way. Clearly, investors are going to need to respond. If the founders are saying, no, I want to remote work and I'm this week in Bali and I'm next week going to be in Indonesia and I'm this next week going to be in Beijing, so let's just do a call. We'll just do calls. I think that, we're going to see which way they find sort of more productive and constructive for them. Personally, I've gotten really comfortable with remote working and with Zoom, and my natural introvert has been celebrating for the last year or so. So I'll force myself back into a hybrid role. But I also do remember how much easier it is, to brainstorm, to share not necessarily good news, to sort of break something to somebody in sort of, if you've got to tee up some bad news or some difficult feedback, much easier face to face. And so I do think that kind of interaction is important. So I don't think it's going to go away. And I do think we'll be at least hybrid, if not going back to the way it used to be.
And Aydin, what's your view about that, the new trend of working for investors and whether or not you think that's baked in now, especially for US investors investing in Europe?
Yeah, I think the hybrid approach will likely stay once investors have gotten a taste of they can do this from literally anywhere. Like I remember signing deals and closing things even when I was in the Caribbean for a week. All of a sudden you feel that, you taste that, there's no going back. I think it also completely changes scalability, right? You can literally talk to a company in Berlin and a couple hours later a company in London. Even if you could fly and be there in person, it would be physically impossible. So I think it's just going to stay, but there are, I think, important moments. I do remember with the Berlin founder, us talking about his favorite is a local burger joint, and obviously we need to have some German beer. And I also would love to visit Supplant in Cambridge and maybe get a pint with them at the local pub. And as long as we at least have some of those experiences, but deliver the goods, it'll be great. But I would say that the hybrid approach is here to stay.
Well, that's fascinating and it's very interesting to see that, certainly I think we could probably all concur that not only have founders gone international and remote working, investors have as well. And that applies especially to US investors investing in Europe. Well, that's been a fascinating discussion. Thank you both for joining the Europas Awards. Thank you, Aydin Senkut, founder and managing partner of Felicis Ventures, and Eileen Burbidge, co-founder and partner at Passion Capital. And from me, Mike Butcher, from the Europas, thanks very much for joining. Welcome back to the Europas Awards, and that was a fantastic panel with Aydin Senkut from Felicis Ventures and Eileen Burbidge from Passion Capital. I really appreciate them joining us for the Europas Awards this year. And we are going to get the show on the road again. We're announcing the Europas Awards for the hottest tech startups in Europe. And our next category in the show is Hottest InsurTech. And to announce the nominees for this category is Amelia Armour from Amadeus Capital. Over to you.
Hi, I'm Amelia Armour, a partner from Amadeus Capital Partners. I'm delighted to announce the nominees for the Hottest InsurTech category. Cachet, a usage-based insurance platform and a personal wallet for gig economy service providers. Collective Benefits, a provider of insurance and benefits to make independent work for everyone. Flood Flash, a tech-enabled flood insurance provider. Hepster, an insurtech company that develops customized insurance products and integrates them into digital processes and systems. Cover, who are designing, building, and distributing innovative digital insurance solutions across Europe. And Sprout AI, with their advanced claims automation and fraud detection solution. Congratulations to all the nominees, and now back to you, Mike, to tell us the winner.
Thanks very much, Amelia from Amadeus Capital, and I'm excited to see some of the nominees for this category. Have a little wave, guys. So thanks so much for joining, and excited to announce now the winner of the hottest insurtech startup in Europe for the Europas Awards is Quover. Yes. Oh, we should have waited for this video snap. Quover, I gather you're here. Yes, congratulations! Yes!
Excellent news.
well done. Now, first of all, you're going to have to tell me how to pronounce it properly.
We call it Cover.
Cover.
So, yes.
Fantastic. And where are you calling from us from today?
Brussels, Belgium.
Brilliant. And tell us what's some of your latest news? What's going on at Cover?
Well, loads of things happening. We announced a couple of months ago a big partnership with Revolut. We have Deliveroo as client, Wolt as client, and there are some very big announcements coming in the next months also. So stay tuned. Lots of things happening, doubling the team in the next month. So yeah, pretty busy over here in Brussels.
Amazing. Well, really appreciate you joining for the awards. Congratulations. We'll be getting an awards to you out shortly. But thanks very much for joining Cover. Cover, they're the hottest insurtech startup for this year at the Europas Awards. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next category is media and entertainment. We don't have anyone to announce the nominees for this, unfortunately. So I apologize. We're actually running a live show, by the way. That's why you can tell. So over to the nominees, and I think this is read by Sasha Astafieva from Atomico.
Hi, I'm Sasha Astafieva, partner at Atomico. I'm excited to announce the nominees for this category, Media and Entertainment. Mobius Labs builds intuitive computer vision SDK solutions for every application based in Germany. Rap Fame, mobile platform for rappers and hip-hop lovers, recording studio with cool beats, competitions, community, based in the UK. Voci, an app for creative video editing using unique computer vision tech, based in Belarus. Wonder.me, a virtual space where people can meet and talk, based in Germany. Zephyr, a technology platform for media companies to grow their subscription revenue, based in the UK. Congratulations to all the nominees, and now back to you, Mike, to tell us the winner.
Thanks very much, Sasha Astieva from Atomico, for announcing the nominees, and I'm excited to see some of our nominees. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining. And the winner, ladies and gentlemen, of the hottest media and entertainment startup for Europe in the Europas Awards is Mobius Labs from Germany. Builds intuitive computer vision SDK solutions for every application. And I think we may have the winner online. Oh, no, it doesn't look like we do. Oh, we couldn't get them, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. But we'll be getting an award over to them. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got an award. We'll be winging an award over to Mobius Labs very shortly. So congratulations to Mobius for winning. Ladies and gentlemen, next category in the Europas Awards is Hottest Prop Tech Startup. And to read out the nominees, we have Reshma Sahoni, Managing Partner from Seed Camp. Apologies. No, unfortunately, we don't have her. We couldn't get her to send her video in time. I'm so sorry, Reshma. But so that's my fail. That's my fail. Anyway, over to I shall just read out the nominees in this category. This is Hottest Prop Tech, and it's Homemade is a property tech retail rental agency focusing on mid to high end rentals. Home Hero is a digital home manager taking care of chores, bills, maintenance and admin to free up your time for what matters most. Orbital Witness is a legal tech meets prop tech startup replacing legacy legal due diligence in property transactions with a legal risk rating. They're from the UK. Rendin, a long-term home renting service that replaces security deposits and guarantees rental income from Estonia. And finally, Tyco, fast sales platform for property in Spain. And we may have some nominees on video. I'm not sure. We'll just check. Oh, we do. Great. Say hi, everybody. Let's have a wave. And the winner, ladies and gentlemen, of the hottest prop tech startup is Home Hero from the UK, a digital home manager taking care of your chores, bills, maintenance and admin to free up your time for what matters most. And if we have Home Hero up on the video, we do. Congratulations. How are you? Where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from sunny Finchley in North London.
Sunny Finchley, not far away from me. Brilliant. I'm glad the weather's still sunny. Tell us about what's happening with Home Hero right now.
Sure, I'm Chris Burke, I'm COO. So we're basically building out an operating system for the home, which basically lets the residents connect up all of their different services, and it basically it takes away the headache, effectively, of managing a home.
Brilliant. And, thank you so much for joining the Europas Awards, and we'll be winging the awards over to you in sunny Finchley. I may even take it there myself. And but thanks very much for joining, and congratulations to Home Hero from the UK for winning hottest prop tech startup. And we are now going to what's this? No, I can't actually read this. So hottest social innovation, and the hottest social innovation is we're not able to get a judge to read this out, so I'll be reading this out. And the nominees are Birdie, a digital care tech company focused on elderly care at home from the UK. Life Ledger, which makes it simple for families to notify all of the businesses connected to this deceased from one point. They're from the UK as well. Me Vitae, deep tech company helping companies find talent smarter, faster and fairer without unconscious bias or algorithmic bias, and they're from the UK. And finally, Planet 2042. Planet 42 is democratizing mobility by enabling people ignored by banks to get access to a personal vehicle through car subscription service, and they're from Estonia. And ladies and gentlemen, we have some nominees up. Hello. Oh, looks like they're actually in a car. Incredible. Don't you just love remote working? It's amazing, isn't it? Remote working from cars. How innovative. Ladies and gentlemen, we're excited to announce the winner for hottest social innovation in the Europas Awards is Birdie. Birdie is a digital care tech company focused on elderly care at home, and they're based in the UK. And we've got Birdie on the line. How are you? Where are you calling from?
From London, indeed.
Brilliant. And tell us who you are and what's new with Birdie.
Yeah, so we basically look after the elderly. We support the whole care community with our technologies to look after the elderly better. And recent news, we've just closed our Series A round with Index. We're scaling in the UK, looking at international expansion, so plenty of things in the pipeline.
Great. And how are you guys doing? How did you guys get on during the pandemic? Did you go remote? And how were you able to scale what you did during the pandemic?
Actually, we work in an industry where most of the people are working with pen and paper. So the pandemic has actually really pushed them to go digital and adopt our solutions. So that was really positive. And I think also there's been a realization for all of us that we want our elders to stay at home as long as they want and as healthy as possible. So that was pretty positive for us.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you joining the Europas Awards. Congratulations on winning, and we'll be getting an award out to you very soon. So thanks very much to Birdie there for winning the hottest social innovation category. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is the hottest sustainability startup. And to read out the nominees for this year's awards is Pippa Lamb, from Sweet Capital. Over to you, Pippa.
Hi, everybody. My name is Pippa Lamb, and I am a partner at Sweet Capital. I am delighted to announce the nominations for the hottest sustainability startup category. The nominees are Byway, flight-free holidays in the UK and Europe, from the UK. Colorifics, a biological green dyeing process for textiles, from the UK. D-Poly, developed a novel technology allowing for the chemical recycling of PET plastic, PET, from Switzerland. Twig, formerly known as DM, your bank of things. Use Carte DM to receive instant payment for your clothes and gadgets, from the UK. Dryad Networks provides ultra-early fire detection as well as health and growth monitoring solutions for public and private forests, from Germany. EcoConcrete, or eConcrete, provides sustainable solutions for construction of ecologically active infrastructures, from Israel. And Plan A Earth, an end-to-end platform that enables companies to measure, monitor, and reduce their environmental footprint, from Germany. Now, back to Mike for the winner.
Thanks very much, Pippa Lamb there from Sweet Capital, reading out the nominees. And we've got some nominees. Let's have a little wave from you guys. Congratulations on being nominated. Certainly fantastic to be nominated in the Europas Awards. Out of all of the startups in Europe, you guys got nominated. Amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to announce the winner for hottest sustainability startup in Europe for the Europas Awards 2021 is Plan A, ladies and gentlemen. And we're excited to see Plan A represented. How are you? Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm great, Mike. Thank you so much. I'm Nathan, calling from Berlin, sunny Berlin today.
Brilliant.
Super happy about the award.
Fantastic. So tell us, what's been going on with Plan A recently? What are you guys up to?
Oh, well, we have a lot, we do carbon reduction, small companies, big companies, left, right, and center, lots of modules to complexify our approach. It's all going really well on our side, and even better since a couple of seconds ago.
Fantastic. Well, really appreciate you joining the awards. So congratulations there to Plan A for winning hottest sustainability startup in Europe. Ciao net for now from Berlin,
Thanks
from London to Berlin.
Thanks, Europas 21.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. Thanks so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, the next category is in the Europas is hottest transportation and mobility, and this category is sponsored very generously by Free Now, the fantastic taxi app. And I will tell you now that the nominees in this category are Cake, which develops uncompromising, high-performance electric off-road motorcycles. Amazing. You've got to try one of those Cake motorcycles. Mini Cabit, which is a smart marketplace to connect customers and businesses with all types of cab service providers. They're from the UK. Ride Vision, which develops autonomous driving software for motorcycles. They're from Israel. Skiwoo, a medical technology platform that develops stair climbing wheelchairs in Switzerland. Tor is the first high-performance electric scooter designed for life in the UK. They're for the city. And, of course, we're all running around on e-scooters these days around cities. Twice is a battery company developing analytics software that addresses the transparency and predictability of batteries. They're from Germany. And finally, Valoran is developing an autonomous traffic control and management system for smart roads, and they're from Israel. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to announce that the winner of the hottest transportation and mobility category is a winner. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the winner. Let's get up the nominees. Are there any nominees floating around? Hi, have a wave. How are you guys? Thanks so much for joining. But unfortunately, we couldn't get twice up. But congratulations to all our nominees. You guys are definitely in the hottest in Europe. So congratulations for joining us at the Europas Awards. Moving swiftly on, we now have the next category is hottest space tech startup. And this is announced by Cem Sertigulu, who's the partner with Early Bird Digital East. Over to you, Cem.
Hi, I'm Jem. I'm a partner at Early Bird Digital East Fund, and I'm excited to announce the nominees for the category Hottest Space Tech. Neutron Star Systems of Germany, a disruptive electric propulsion provider for spacecraft. Skyrora, a UK-based launch services provider dedicated to delivering small satellites into orbit in a responsive, versatile, eco-friendly manner. Valley Space from Germany, a browser-based software that enables engineers to collaboratively develop satellites, rockets, and other complex hardware. And Wingtra from Switzerland, which provides professional VTOL drone for mapping and surveying. Congratulations to all the nominees, and now back to you, Mike, to tell us the winner.
Thanks so much, Cem. And we've got some nominees with us. Hi, guys, give us a wave. Thank you very much for joining the Europas Awards, and I'm excited to announce, ladies and gentlemen, that the winner of the hottest space tech startup is Valley Space, a browser-based software that enables engineers to collaboratively develop satellites, rockets, and other complex hardware, and they're based in Germany. Tell us where you're calling from, sir.
Hi, I'm in Bremen.
Brilliant. So tell us what's going on with Valley Space. What's new?
What's new is that we're expanding quite a bit into other industries too. So we, beyond helping people to build rockets and satellites, we also help them now develop trains, planes, cars, even coffee roasters or nuclear fusion reactors. So basically complex engineering for the win.
Amazing. Tell us, what do you think of the prospects for space tech in Europe right now?
Well, I think new space is definitely something that has been taking off quite a bit. Although the media covers far more SpaceX, there is hundreds of companies building amazing products, and that will all be beneficiaries of their services in the very near future. So really looking forward to that.
That's absolutely, totally couldn't agree more. And, you know, unfortunately, the media is obsessed with rockets and SpaceX, but you're absolutely right. There is an amazing space tech industry in Europe, and my goodness, it's incredible. So I really appreciate you joining Valley Space from Germany, who the winner of Space Tech in the category in the Europas. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is the hottest scale-up category, and this is sponsored by Scaleway. And I think I'm going to be reading. Am I going to be reading this, or we have? Do we have a video? Yes, we do. Oh, just confirming backstage there. We do have a video from Scaleway. So over to you guys.
Hello, I'm James. I'm head of corporate content at Scaleway, and we're very proud to be sponsors of the Scale Up category at the Europas this year. We're also super happy to be announcing the nominees for this category, and they are: first up is Builder.ai, a UK scale-up which helps people build their technology without having to become engineers or hire a team. Casavo, an Italian tech-enabled market maker that makes the real estate market easier and less stressful. Dixa, which is from Denmark, and it's a conversational customer engagement software which connects brands with customers through real-time communication. Glassbox, a UK scale-up which develops an analytics platform designed to automatically record, index, and analyze digital interactions. And finally, Zebra Medical Vision, an Israeli AI-based medical imaging insights platform which augments the decisions of medical professionals. So congratulations to all the nominees. And now back to Mike.
Thanks very much, James, for reading out the nominees. And we've got some nominees on Zoom. Hi, guys. How are you? Give us a wave. Really appreciate you jumping in to the Europas Zoom call here, which was broadcast on Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to announce that the winner for the hottest scale-up startup in Europe at the Europas Awards is Zebra Medical Vision, and they are a startup from Israel, a medical imaging insights platform from Israel. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Very happy.
And where are you calling us from?
I'm actually from New York, but as you can hear my accent, I'm from Israel.
Fantastic. Yes, lots of Israeli startups often use New York as a base, don't they? It's a little bit easier to get to. So tell us, sir, what's going on with Zebra Medical Vision? What's the new news that you guys are doing at the moment?
So of course, because of COVID, we had a lot of changes to the industry, and we also adapt and scale. And we are really excited about population health and the implication of population health after the COVID and post the COVID. So really exciting time at Zebra.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you joining us for the Europas Awards, and thanks very much, and have fun in New York. Really appreciate you joining. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next category in the Europas Awards is Hottest Unicorn. And obviously, so not so much a startup, but obviously a very large tech company that used to be a startup, but now is like really definitely still knocking it out of the park. And the nominees are going to be read out by Playfair, Chris Smith. We've got Playfair Capital. So over to you, Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris Smith from Playfair Capital. I'm delighted to be here to announce the nominees for the hottest unicorn. They are Babylon Health, which aims to provide accessible, affordable healthcare by combining AI with doctors, based in the UK. Checkout.com, an API-based platform providing online payment solutions that improve the user's checkout experience, also based in the UK. Picnic, a fast-growing tech company that has developed a mass-market home delivery system for fast-moving consumer goods, based in the Netherlands. Sender, a digital freight forwarding company that connects large commercial shippers with small freight carriers, based in Germany. And finally, Starling Bank, a mobile banking platform that offers personal, joint and business accounts, based in the UK. Congratulations to all the nominees, and now back to you, Mike, to reveal the winner.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Chris Smith from Playfair Capital, reading those out. We've got some nominees from the hottest unicorn. Say hi, guys. Let's have a wave from you. Appreciate you tuning in quickly. We've got somebody who's out on a walk. Brilliant. Good for you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the winner for the hottest unicorn in Europe is Checkout.com. Is an API-based platform providing online payment solutions that improve the user's checkout experience. They're out of the UK, and I think we've got someone from Checkout here. How are you?
Hi, Mike. I'm Moish. I'm based in London. I head up commercial for UK and Ireland for Checkout.com, and absolutely thrilled to have won this award. So thanks for that.
Fantastic. Checkout's really scaling right now. It's incredible. So what's some of your latest news at the moment?
Well, it's been a remarkable year for us. Obviously, the pandemic has pushed everyone online. We saw our valuation rise to 15 billion at the beginning of this year, which is great. We've increased by 500 new merchants. Our volumes have trebled. And over the last year, we've increased our workforce by 70%. So we're now 1,300 people globally, and moved from, I think, 13 offices to 19 offices now around the world. So it's an incredible time of growth and really, really exciting, and lots more to come.
Amazing. And so I'm really glad that you could join us for the awards. I really appreciate you tuning in. And so congratulations to Checkout.com there for winning that category. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the hottest accelerator. And the hottest accelerator category, we've got the nominees are London and Partners Business Growth Programme, Outlier Ventures, Set Squared in Bristol, Spin Lab, the HHL, and Startup Wise Guys, who are, if our memory serves me well, are from Estonia. And so, ladies and gentlemen, excited to announce that we may have some nominees. Have we got some nominees? Hello, nominees. Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you joining us at the Europas Awards. So I'm excited to announce that the hottest accelerator in Europe for the Europas Awards is Startup Wise Guys from Estonia. So thank you so much for joining us. I think we can cut to Estonia. Hello, Estonia. How are you? Oh, it looks like he's frozen. This is so pandemic, isn't it? You know, you're on mute and the broadband's gone down. It's tough times. Really sorry if we can't get you up there. Looks like we're having a bit of technical difficulty, unfortunately. So we'll move on. I really appreciate you guys joining us. Startup Wise Guys from Estonia, very, very cool accelerator. But congratulations to all the other nominees in that category. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, in the next category, we've got Hottest Seed Startup. Hottest Seed Investor, not Startup, of course. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got the nominees in this category are Cavalry Ventures from Germany, doing some great stuff out there in Germany. InsurTech Gateway, which is in the UK, as one of the newest seed investors. Playfair Capital in the UK, been going since 2013, and SFC Capital in the UK. And we might have some nominees. I'm not sure if we do. We'll just check. Yes, we've got some nominees. Give us a wave, guys. Thanks very much for joining. Appreciate you tuning into the Europas. And I'm excited to announce, ladies and gentlemen, that the winner for the hottest seed investor in Europe for the Europas Awards 2021 is Cavalry Ventures from Germany. Congratulations, Cavalry.
Oh my God. Thank you very much, Mike. This is such an honor. We didn't expect this, so thanks a lot.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, the judges voted for you guys, so you won. So congratulations. We'll be getting an award over. I'm disappearing. Here is your award. It's going to be winging its way over to you. You can put that in your reception or on your desk, wherever you like. Tell us who you are. And you're calling from Germany, obviously, somewhere. Where are you calling from?
Exactly. I'm calling from Berlin, where we are based in Berlin and invest across Europe. We are an early stage fund. We invest in pre-seed and seed stages. We have just announced our first unicorn, Forto, and we are proud of our whole portfolio, including McMakler, PlanRadar, and Brighter. To all the fantastic early stage founders, reach out to us. We are happy to talk to you.
Brilliant. Well, really appreciate you joining us all the way from Berlin. It must have been so tough to flip open your Zoom camera. I'm joking, of course. But I really appreciate you joining. It's really nice of you to join in. It's fantastic when people get involved and and celebrate European tech startups. So congratulations there to Cavalry Ventures for winning hottest seed stage investor. Thanks so much for joining us. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting towards the end of the awards. We've got the last few categories, and the next category is Hottest VC in Europe. And we've got, to read the nominees out for this category, we've got the fantastic Robin Wouters, founding editor of Tech EU. Over to you, Robin.
Hello, my name is Robin Wouters. I'm the founding editor of Tech.eu, and I'm very, very pleased to join you for the Europas Awards ceremony this year. I am delighted to present for you the nominees of the hottest VC of the year. They are, and in no particular order, out of the UK, Index Ventures, DN Capital, IQ Capital. Out of the Nordics, more specifically Sweden, we have EQT Ventures and Creandum. And out of Germany, we have Project A Ventures. A big congratulations to all of the nominees from me, and I hand it back over to Mike Butcher from TechCrunch for the winner. See you all very soon, hopefully.
Thanks very much, Robin, for reading out the nominees for Hottest VC. And I'm excited to be joined by some of those amazing venture capitalists that we always talk to in the media. Give us a wave, guys. Say hi. Really appreciate you joining. But I'm now going to have to announce the winner. So congratulations to all the nominees. But unfortunately, in the end, there can be only one winner. And the winner, ladies and gentlemen, for hottest VC in Europe, as judged by the Europas Awards judges and the wider industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Creandum! Congratulations, Creandum. You've been nominated as the winner of this category. Appreciate your joining us. Who's joining us now from Creandum?
This is Carl with Creandum. Thank you so much, Mike. What a thrill.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So how's it going at Creandum? What's some of your latest news?
Hey, business is good. I think we heard a panel previously speak about how good the European tech is at this moment. And, we're fortunate enough to be in business for a few years. So we've had some companies that have reached maturity and timed that at a point of history when tech has probably never been hotter than it is right now. So yeah, we had a company called Depop in your home turf that Etsy acquired for 1.6 billion here recently. 2 weeks ago, we had another one called Corner Shop that Uber acquired for close to 3.5 billion. We had Trade Republic that did a big round with Sequoia here recently. And yeah, the list goes on. So, obviously we're only a product of the founders that we eventually back. So I think this award is more suited to the workings of our incredible founders. But yeah, things are good. We're very happy.
Yeah, it's always nice to see that VCs promoting their founders more than themselves, I guess, in some ways. But I really appreciate you joining us for the Zoom call and for joining us for the Europas Awards. So congratulations there to Creandum for winning hottest VC in the Europas Awards. Thanks so much, Carl, for joining us. And I just want to remind everybody that none of the people know who has won. We don't do any kind of pre-announcing, or we never do any of that. The Europas are always announced live by me. So, ladies and gentlemen, next up we've got Path Founder of the Year, and I'll be reading out the nominees. Path Founder of the Year is always given to somebody who's really given back to the tech industry over the last year and over the last many years. And we've got some fantastic nominees in this category. Neil Reimer from Index Ventures, Chris Topman from Notion Capital, John Bradford from Dynamo Ventures, Sarah Ussinger, who's an incredible innovation specialist based out in Albania, and Bindi Courier from Bindi Ventures in the UK. And I'm excited to see. I'm not sure if we have any of the nominees on video, but we might do. We may not do. But the winner, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to announce is Neil Reimer from Index Ventures. But unfortunately, Neil doesn't appear to have been able to join us. But I think we've got a representative from Index Ventures on the line. Hello. I think he's on mute.
I'll see Neil in about an hour because we are both at a wedding of a colleague, so I'll be delighted to share the news with him.
Fantastic.
So thank you.
And thanks very much for joining. And what's some of the latest news out of Index Ventures?
Latest news is probably our fund, Index Origin, that we launched not that long ago to specifically dedicated seed fund, highly collaborative with other seed funds, and so it's additional $200 million to support founders from seed to IPO, and we've had some amazing ones that we worked with, like Robinhood, Deliveroo, Wise, so hopefully we can add many more that work with us from seed.
Fantastic. I really appreciate you joining Wojtek from Index Ventures. So you can go off to your wedding now. That's the beauty of working remote, I guess. We can all zoom in and out of things for work. So I really appreciate you joining us for the Europas Awards. And so congratulations to Neil Reimer there for being Path Founder of the Year, according to the judges of the Europas Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, now finally, that is the awards over. But it's not quite over, because we have one more announcement to make. And I'm really excited to be hopefully joined by Simon Schaefer, who is live from Lisbon. Simon, are you there?
Yes, Mike. How are you doing?
Brilliant.
Good show.
Thank you so much for joining the Europas Awards. Simon Schaefer there from Factory, who's building an enormous campus in Lisbon for lots of startups and entrepreneurs. Simon, tell us just briefly before we make our announcement, Tell us some of your news at Factory and what's going on in the Lisbon tech scene there right now.
Well, the Lisbon tech scene is booming. There's a lot going on. I think we're really profiting from the fact that this is such a beautiful place that people just want to go to, and it's the third safest country in the world. So this is really an awesome place to start your company. And I do believe that, with the pandemic unwinding slowly but surely, people will be more traveling, and this is one of the key destinations.
I absolutely concur. Beautiful, beautiful city to visit and to live in as well. Well, Simon, I really appreciate you joining us, but we've got a bit of a joint announcement to make. So do you want to do the honours?
I would love to. Thank you for handing me that. So next year's the Europas will be taking place in Lisbon. We have at Factory Lisbon a 2,000 square meter rooftop, which is overlooking the river, and it's an absolutely stunning location. And we surely hope that we can all see you there very, very, very soon.
Simon, I will absolutely die to go to Lisbon right now, but hopefully in the next few weeks and months I'll be there. But I'm really excited to be partnering with you, and we'll be doing a hybrid version of the Europas. We'll be doing this live, streamed from Lisbon, but we'll also do an in-person event as well in Lisbon in partnership with Factory. So I'm super excited. Thanks so much for joining, Simon Schaefer from Factory. Ciao for now. Anyway, thanks so much, Simon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the Europas Awards. We got through. Congratulations to all the nominees. Congratulations to all the winners. It's sad not to be doing it in person, but also the great thing about doing it virtually this year is that we were able to go so international. And isn't it great zooming in and out and popping into across Europe to chat with entrepreneurs and investors and see what they're up to and celebrate technology startups in Europe. So, ladies and gentlemen, it leaves me only have to say thank you so much to our sponsors, our headline sponsor, Builder AI, which is empowering you to bring your idea to life via on-demand, tailor-made software, no coding required. And thank you again also to our sponsor, scale-up category sponsor, Scaleway, from performance cloud ecosystem to hyperscale green data centers. Thank you so much again for the support from our health tech category sponsor, Babylon Health, where you can see a doctor online in minutes. For our sponsor in transportation and mobility, Free Now, which is Europe's #1 taxi app. Thank you so much to Playfair Capital for being our diversity ticket sponsor, which is an early stage fund that commits to companies early. And finally, our ticketing platform, Bizzabo, the world's most loved event software. Thank you very much, guys, for supporting the Europas Awards again this year. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Europas Awards. And I hope you'll join us what will hopefully be a hybrid and real-world event next year, live from Lisbon in Portugal. And it only leaves me to say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you very much for supporting the Europas Awards and celebrating European startups. But finally, from me, Mike Butcher, founder of the Europas Awards, it's time to say goodbye. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I should say it till tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for tuning in, and see you again next year. Ciao.